5% of your farm's revenue not at the county level, but down to your individual fields. At Trados, we help farms design protection that works with their marketing plan, not in isolation. The key isn't buying another product. It's understanding how coverage, grain marketing, and your operation work together. As hail and wind rates continue to increase, now's the time to ask better questions. Call us today or visit gotrados.com to start protecting 95%. That's GOTREDAS.com. Trados, ingrained in your success.
This is Jordy Ball for Anderson Ford. For years, Anderson has relied on an exceptional customer experience. But just this once, they're going to rely on a really great pitch.
Right now, lease a 2025 Ford F-150 for $199 per month.
Experience better at Anderson Ford.
Stock number 1007055. Previous service loaner. $199 per month. Lease for 36 months with approved credit. 7,500 miles per year. 6,800 to assignee. No security deposit required. Tax, title, and license fees extra. Residency restrictions apply. Program subject to change. Must take new retail delivery from Anderson Auto Group by 3/31/26. See dealer for details.
Hey guys, it's Carly from Blake Farm Outfitters, and we're all about equipping the modern farmer. Our team is Nebraska's go-to for precision planting, SurePoint liquid systems, Green Eye Spot Spray, and more. So whether you're considering an equipment upgrade, adding new tech, or just need a trained eye to service what you have, check us out. Creep on us at BlakeFarmOutfitters.com and get connected with our team of experts. We're excited to help you find what's next. That's BOECK FarmOutfitters.com.
It's seafood season at Amigos. Time to get that one-of-a-kind, crisp crab rangoon burrito and dip it in some sweet chili sauce. There's a crab rangoon Frenchie, too. Enjoy grilled fish, grilled shrimp, or crispy fish tacos. Wrapped in warm whole wheat tortillas. Topped with pico de gallo, cabbage, and Amigos Chipotle mayo sauce. From jumbo shrimp baskets or fish and chips to fish tacos, there's something for everyone. You'll love the bold, fresh flavors of seafood at Amigos. Amigos is serving up a brand new way to score the bold, fresh flavors you love with 8 affordable value meals. At $5 and $6, these meals are easy on the wallet, so treat yourself anytime. Sink into the new 3-cheese melt or taco melt, both stacked with crave-worthy flavor in every bite. There's crunchy taquito dippers, too, perfect for dunking in Amigos' famous ranch or spicy cheese. Big flavor, small price. Value meals at Amigos.
If you're tired of the dieting circuit paradox but still want to look, feel, and perform better, you need to get to Nutrition Authority and ask about our nutrition coaching featuring LifeBase. LifeBase takes the complex world of nutrition and makes it simple with real results that last. Stop in to learn more or check us out at mynutritionauthority.com.
Bundle up, bring your crew, and make this winter one for the books with Bachfest on Saturday, February 21st at Beer House. Enjoy winter brews that will tangle with your taste buds, polka dancing, games like Hammerschlagen and Stein Stamina, and more. Bach beer will be flowing and sausages and pretzels will be available for purchase. Doors open at 11 a.m. and the party goes outside until 6 p.m. before moving inside. VIP tickets are $75, but just $10 gets you in the door. Buy your tickets today at beerhousene.com for Bachfest on Saturday, February 21st. Hey fellas, let's take a quick time out here. February is American Heart Month, and listen, men are the worst at getting checked out. We'll watch every stat in the league, but ignore the most important one. That's our own heart health. So here's the plan. Talk to your doctor about scheduling a quick heart screening at Advanced Medical Imaging. It's fast, it's easy, and it could save your life. Your family needs you around a lot more than your fantasy team does. Make the call, get the checkup, take care of your heart at Advanced Medical Imaging.
Planet Fitness has everything you need anytime the motivation hits, so you can give everything you've got. With most clubs open 24 hours, you've got access to our best-in-class equipment to tackle early morning reps, late-night miles, and every workout in between. Join the club today and save $28 or more when you join for just $1 down, $15 a month. Cancel anytime. Deal ends February 27th. You ready? Planet Fitness. We're all strong on this planet. See club for details.
Tired of asking what's for dinner? Nourished for Life has got you covered. At Nourished, they're a local meal prep company that delivers fresh, chef-crafted, healthy meals straight to your door. Made from wholesome ingredients and ready when you are. No shopping, no chopping. Just heat, eat, and enjoy every night of the week. Fuel your busy days with balanced meals that are designed to keep you satisfied and energized. Visit nourishedforlife.co to purchase meals and taste the convenience of home-cooked comfort without the hassle.
93.7 The Ticket Sports News go now. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to your 93.7 The Ticket Sports Update. I'm Connor Crimmy. Nebraska basketball returns home on Saturday to take on the Penn State Nittany Lions. Penn State is 11-6 and 2-14 in Big Ten play, which is rock bottom of the conference. Nebraska wrestling will take on Utah Valley for their final match of the regular season before Big Ten championship play starts on March 7th. Nebraska softball and baseball are back in action today. Baseball is to take on Louisville at 3 p.m. today, and then later this weekend, they will play Kansas State at 7 p.m. on Saturday, and then 16th-ranked Florida State at 2:30 on Sunday. Softball will duke it out today with 13th-ranked South Carolina at noon, and will follow with Hawaii at 2:30. The Huskers are set to do battle with number 11 Texas A&M tomorrow at 7 p.m., and then Seattle and Cal on Sunday at 11 a.m. and 1:30 p.m. For more sports updates, keep it tuned here at 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome to The Drive with Aaron Davis and Nick Sainert. Former football national champion, speaker, and author Aaron Davis.
Pain is a teacher if you use it. And the lessons in the carnage of pain sometimes are elusive. They hide, they're stealth. The work is finding the lessons through the pain. There's always a message in the mess. Depends on if we want to get dirty and look for it.
Nick Sainert.
Driving left side is Boyer, picks up his dribble, looking for some help, decides to go up strong with it, and the layup will rattle home. Jack Riley picks the pocket of BJ Bradford up the floor to Jack Ostrider. Watch out! Mafisi in the lane, kicks it out. 3-ball, Townsley, right wing, it's good!
It's on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome in. It is The Drive, 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. Nick Sainert's coming to you live from Arlington, Texas, and back in our snowy studios in Lincoln, Nebraska. It is my man, Rudy. Rudy, first off, appreciate you sitting in and pushing all the buttons for us. Is the audio okay to this point?
Yeah, I think so. You sound a little quiet, so I'll try to make things a little louder over here, but not
okay.
Too bad.
Yeah. Let me know if the Hyatt Wi-Fi cuts out at all throughout the course of the show. We will get it taken care of. We have a couple of backup options as well, and we'll be good to go. But happy Friday to you, Rudy. I understand you guys got quite a bit of snow yesterday, my man.
Yeah, they're a couple inches here now, so the roads are finally getting cleared up, but me being from Texas, I had to Uber here to work today. Not very proud of that, but
no, you did not.
It came down quick. There's nothing I could do about it.
Rudy, what vehicle do you drive? I feel bad. I don't even know this.
Yeah, no, I drive like a Dodge Journey, like a little SUV, so I probably would have been fine, but I don't trust myself at all out here yet.
Okay, but you've been here for a couple years, man.
Yeah, no, but that snow just came in a little too quick last night. I didn't trust myself this morning, and so I was like, you know what? I'll just order the Uber. We'll be fine.
Hey, well, here's the thing. Yesterday we got lucky. I flew. It was kind of interesting. I ended up flying on the same exact plane as the Huskers did, and so I kind of felt as I got to the airport at about, I don't know, I decided that I wanted to get there a little sooner than I normally would. I was telling AD this yesterday. I sometimes push the limits on getting to the airport. I often enough am like, oh, if I get there 30 minutes before I board, 20 minutes before I'm supposed to board, I'll be just fine. And knock on wood, I haven't missed a flight yet. Well, yesterday I knew that there was snow coming. And so I figured to myself, okay, you know what? I'll get there maybe a little bit earlier. And I sit down at the gate and everything. And then all of a sudden, see the entire Husker baseball team come in. And I thought,
Losing you for a second here, Nick. All right, I think we're having.
We're gonna be.
All right, there we
go. Okay.
Lost you for a second there.
Oh, apologize. Sorry, Rudy. I figured if Nebraska baseball didn't make it to the game, then I wouldn't make it to the game, and we'd be A-okay. So anyway, we got out of there. We got out of there as the snow started falling yesterday afternoon. And then I landed in Arlington or Dallas, and now I see that it was like close to 7 or 8 inches in the Lincoln and Omaha areas.
Yeah, no, it came down like that. It came out not out of nowhere. Obviously, it was in the forecast, but I was in the living room one moment, looked out the window, and I was like, "Oh, that's a little more than I thought." And we were expected to play baseball here this weekend, so that I don't know how we figured that, but yeah, it came down quick, and there's a lot of it out here right now. So it's a nice view, but not fun.
We gotta mention for those that don't know, Rudy does play baseball. He plays for Nebraska Westland. This is going to be a big baseball show. I'm going to enjoy talking baseball with you, Rudy, as well. You and Tristan, obviously, or excuse me, no, I apologize. You guys take care of some baseball coverage for us on the weekends, on Sundays and stuff like that. Tristan and Nick do the Husker Diamond report on Saturdays as well. Now that the
Lost you another time here. We'll get him back. Be a couple seconds, but yeah. Tristan's got
We
the
continue.
Saturdays. I got the Sundays. There we go. We lost you for another second. There you go.
I know. I'm gonna at the end of this break. I'm gonna try to switch over to the backup Wi-Fi. But nonetheless, what I was going to say is we got a lot of stuff to come and cover today, as Nebraska baseball has a massive weekend against a couple of ranked teams. They got Louisville today, Florida State on Sunday. Obviously, Kansas State wedged in the middle there. I saw them practice late last night, just past 9 p.m. since we got in a little bit later. Practice was pushed back a couple of minutes, but we got to talk about that. Unfortunately for Nebraska women's basketball, the collapse last night as they took a 10-point lead into the fourth quarter. They collapsed and they end up losing on the road to the Oregon Ducks. And crunch time is crunching as loud as can be right now for Nebraska women's basketball as they try to make the NCAA tournament. Nebraska men's basketball gets ready for a big game tomorrow against the Penn State Nittany Lions. But first and foremost, all of you guys, welcome to join the show. We encourage you to join the show. 402-464-5685 on the Honda of Lincoln hotline. The Starter Hammond text line are both open for you guys the entire show today, as well as on our Starter Hammond Jewelers live video stream, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Allo Cable channel 961. Rudy, I want to start with this. What is the Westland baseball schedule like going forward? Because you guys were supposed to play outside. I saw earlier this week when Austin and I were in Iowa City for Husker basketball on Tuesday night, Iowa baseball was playing a game outdoors. But the reason why is because it was 70 degrees in these places just a couple of days ago.
Yeah, no, we were supposed to have a doubleheader tomorrow against a school from, I think, South Dakota, and then Hastings down here was going to make a trip. So that obviously got pushed off, where I doubt we'll be out in the field next week, honestly, just with the snow. It doesn't really melt into that turf as good as we thought. But so, I mean, we're going to get pushed back a week, but we have 4 games next weekend. We'll get them all back, apparently. So it'll be all good. And then we head off to Florida, which will be a lot nicer than this. So it's a nice start to the year, and then we get back into the cold weather, and then it sucks again. But it's all good.
Rudy, I was talking to some buddies yesterday about the snow and everything, and it's great for the golf courses. You're a guy that just started golfing, and so this is where we change the mentality from baseball to golf. This stuff, the moisture, the snow for the golf courses, once it all melts, that stuff is going to be looking greener than ever in the early stages of March. You and I are going to be able to get out on the course, dude.
Yeah, I might have to not do it during season or just not tell Coach Christie, but I completely agree. I played last weekend after when the snow was gone and the weather was a lot better, and it definitely helps now. So yeah, I'm down. I'm not very good, but I'm getting better. I'm getting better somehow.
Well, exactly, and people forget that former.
Another technical difficulty here. Get him back in a second.
Continue to lose me. There we go. We're going to try to get this figured out as soon as we can. Rudy, what I'm going to actually do, go ahead and kind of start off the show. I'm going to hand this off to you. I'm going to switch to the backup Wi-Fi, and hopefully we can figure this out because shout out to the Hyatt Place just a block away from Globe Life Field here in Arlington.
Yep. Sounds good. All right, yeah. So what we were going to get into today was going to be starting off with some basketball stuff just to get in there. Right now, sure, we'll get into it when we get Nick back at some point. But right now, the Nebraska men's basketball team is projected as a number 3 seed, number 12 overall seed in the projected tournament, kind of mock selection coming up. Obviously, that still means that while a lot of us here at the station and around the town kind of tend to overreact to some losses or kind of take them to heart a little bit, obviously still in great national standings for sure. So that's always a good thing to be notable of. We kind of say it here quite a bit. This is a team that still only has very low single digit losses on their hip. So maybe it's just one of those national things that it's a lot bigger than it seems due to where we are in proximity to all the noise we hear here. And a lot of what the national media is saying is more than often not going to be a little more important sometimes, especially tournament predictions things like that. So I think that's a great thing to start with, obviously, Nick.
Yeah, I think so too. Can you guys hear me okay? Are we okay?
Yep.
Okay, cool, man. I switched over to the other Wi-Fi, so hopefully this works here. Going forward. So just let me know. I apologize for the technical difficulties. You always kind of take a gamble. No, you're right, Rudy. And obviously, a lot what we're talking about is Nebraska basketball and their initial seeding and where they came out yesterday. It was kind of interesting where the NCAA committee does essentially a mock bracket reveal where Nebraska is the 12th overall seed. And you see a lot of the big name bracketologists led by Joe Lenardi, obviously, who historically is pretty inaccurate, but is still, given a platform and stuff. You see him go on Twitter and say, man, I don't like where Gonzaga is. And Gonzaga's one spot below Nebraska. Nebraska currently still, if the season ended today, according to the bracketologists and the committee, would be a 3 seed. And I think, Rudy, it's always so important for us to sit here and like you kind of talked about there towards the end, bro, where it was like, hey, like realize what we're talking about here. Realize what we're discussing. And Nebraska's in a really, really advantageous position despite losing 4 of their last 6. But for the most part, Nebraska's been able to stay at least in and around the top 10. Next week probably will, even if they beat Penn State, they will probably drop out of the top 10. But we're talking about Nebraska basketball, a team who is historically unsuccessful, has been in the top 15 for as long as we can remember in this season.
Yeah, no, and I think too a lot of that does come with obviously the historic start, the undefeated start, and it's one of those things you kind of get accustomed to, I think. And I think so these losses do feel a little heavier, but like we're saying, if at the beginning of the year we said, oh, Nebraska will be a top 10, top 15 team, I don't think anyone's going to say no to that. I just think it's kind of how it's happened and how these losses feel a little stingier towards the end of especially towards the end of the games. Just losing them in that second half always is going to hurt more. But like I said, if this is something that we are coming into the season expecting to be at over here in February, I don't think anybody would be upset right now. So that's how I'm looking at it, at least.
Well, exactly. And not to say that we can't, I think it's important to have expectations. And this has been a big hobby horse of mine that I've kind of preached on the last couple of weeks. It has been, it's okay for us to sit here and for one section of the fan base to say, hey, let's just get that one NCAA tournament win. But also this team deserves to have the higher expectations of let's get farther in the tournament.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I think it's one of those things like that. Like, again, kind of not going against what I said, but in the same light, that run didn't just mean nothing either. And yes, this is a great spot to be, but like you're saying, they've shown that they can compete with the best of the best. So yeah, like why not make more out of it than just doing the bare minimum and kind of just getting that monkey off your back. Oh, we got one. Like we've seen, they're a team that has talent, and it's one of those things that now you're just getting later into the year and things are going to start having some hiccups. But I completely agree. This is a team that's shown that they are where they are for a reason, not just because of some scheduling or just some miracle run they went on. It's teams are going to start playing them a little better, and obviously we're seeing that, but they are still one of the most talented teams in the country for sure.
As always, 402-464-5685, the Honda of Lincoln hotline, the Starter Heyman text line open for you. We get one from IQ Crew on the text line. He asks if AD has marked himself safe in Sioux Falls. He is there. He is back in Sioux Falls. He is safe. He's speaking this morning. I don't believe you guys are supposed to get any additional snow or any weather today. I think it's just supposed to be cold all weekend for you guys. So hopefully AD has no issues driving back to Lincoln later on today. But we'll see and we'll find out as we approach. But AD is safe in Sioux Falls. He got from St. Louis to Sioux Falls yesterday. Flights were all good for him, and so that was a good thing to see. It was really it was really fun. I mean, a lot of people have flown, obviously, but man, it was crazy because last night, we're taking off and stuff, and you can't see anything because the snow, the clouds, and you get above those clouds, and it's bright blue and sunny, and it's kind of interesting. So it was really funny to be able to send pictures because I had Wi-Fi on the plane. It was really fun to be able to send pictures to the people that were sending me photos of the snow, and there we were up above in the bright blue skies. Before we get too far into the show, we do want to thank all of our friends that made the trip down to Arlington, Texas possible, in addition to the trip to Phoenix last week for Austin Orman as we continue to cover Nebraska baseball here in the early season tournaments. Big thanks to our friends at Dio Technology. You make sure you visit them online at diotech.net, or you can call them 402-793-5124. Dio turns your living room into the place to watch your favorite sports. They take care of home theaters and outdoor entertainment centers. They make your vision a reality. Once again, visit them online, diotech.net, or you can call them 402-793-5124. I've seen some of their projects. They're, incredible. Plus, they got a really cool design space inside their building that you can basically go and see it firsthand before you spend all that money and purchase one of those things. So we'll have more of those conversations as we continue here. Let's take an early time out here, Rudy. Since I switched over, is the audio okay? Are we hanging in there?
No, yeah, a lot better now. Sounds
Okay.
you're not as quiet either, so it's even better.
Okay, well, that's good to know. Once again, we apologize. I appreciate Rudy for being flexible there, and if anybody wants to text in and either complain or praise the audio, feel free to do so. 464-5685. No AD today. AD will be back on Monday. I'll be joining the show once again from Arlington on Monday. When we come back, Rudy, let's preview this big weekend for Nebraska baseball. They got a lot of stuff in front of them, a lot of opportunities in front of them this weekend against a couple of ranked opponents, as well as Kansas State. Also, just this Amagi College baseball tournament that's going on. 6 teams. We're going to get to see an early look at the team Nebraska's playing next weekend in the Auburn Tigers. Michigan is here as well as a couple of other programs that are playing various teams here this weekend. We'll dive into all of those, give you some keys to this weekend for Nebraska and Louisville today, 3 p.m. first pitch. So make sure you stay tuned to not only the ticket. I know Austin Orman during Old School will keep you guys plenty updated on what's going on. All the games are available on Flow College, or like Flow Sports, which, if you don't remember, is about a $20 subscription. So if you want to watch the games this weekend, feel free to put in that credit card information to the friends over at Flow Sports. But nonetheless, let's take a break. It's The Drive. Rudy's filling in for me back at the studio. AD is doing a speaking engagement in Sioux Falls. I am live from Arlington, Texas for Nebraska baseball. We'll step aside. The Drive continues next on a Friday here on 93.7 The Ticket.
Oh, honey, I love the first few months of a new year.
Why?
I get a chance to shovel.
You hate to shovel.
Not snow, cash. The Nebraska Lottery's Cash Blast promotion is back. Buy a 2x2 ticket and get a voucher. Enter online for a chance to win a $5,000 or $500 weekly prize. And if your winning voucher is from a 7-day draw ticket, your prize is doubled.
Great. It snowed last night. Here's a shovel.
But
consider it practice.
2x2 top prize odds are 1 in 105,000. If you or anyone you care about is facing a family legal matter, call Cordell and Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL or visit CordellCordell.com to schedule your consultation.
There's a lot on the line in divorce. This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. Divorce touches all areas of your life: your home, savings, retirement, and of course, kids. So when you find yourself facing divorce, you need a partner you can count on. Visit CordellCordell.com to schedule your consultation.
If you or anyone you care about is facing divorce, contact Cordell and Cordell today. With over 100,000 clients served, we understand the challenges you're facing on a personal level. Call Cordell and Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL. That's 1-855-GET-LEGAL. 1221 N Street, Lincoln.
If you're seeking a career with a growing company, Gaina Trucking and Excavating is hiring and looking for additions to their team. Gaina Trucking has a strong team culture, competitive pay, 401ks, and benefits like health, dental, and vision. Drivers are guaranteed 40 hours per week, even in the winter months, and are home every night. Start your career today at Gaina Trucking and Excavating. Apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Bauer Underground has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know that the best workers in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and a pedigree of success. They're offering top-notch benefits, a matching 401k, and a $600 per year clothing allowance. Power Underground, a family-friendly company with plenty of room for advancement. Hey guys, Nick Sainert here. Join me live from Arlington, Texas, this Friday through Sunday as 93.7 The Ticket covers Husker Baseball's appearance in the Amagi Bank College Baseball Series. I'll have pregame and postgame videos on the Ticket's social media pages, as well as commentary throughout Friday's 3 p.m. game versus Louisville, Saturday's 7 p.m. game against Kansas State, and Sunday's 2:30 p.m. game against Florida State. Our coverage from Arlington is sponsored by Diode Technologies, Ben Bleicher of Professional Realty Group of BHHS Ambassador, Scissors and Scotch Lincoln, and Chick-fil-A South Point Pavilions.
Make your next event unforgettable with Grazing Gouda, your local artists and experts in charcuterie and grazed tables. From boardrooms to ballrooms, they turn gatherings into experiences with stunning spreads of artesian cheeses, cured meats, fresh fruits, and gourmet bites. Perfect for corporate luncheons, weddings, parties, or any celebration that deserves a wow moment. They handle the details. You take the compliments. Book your graze table today at GrazingGouda.com. Grazing Gouda, because every event deserves to be savored.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills Global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Lincoln's go-to for fun isn't new. It's a place that's been a staple of the city for years and is only getting better. Matson's Bowling and Billiards always has open bowling available with no long lines, unlike other centers. They have live music almost every weekend and great food at EJ's Bar and Lounge, with seating for 150 people. They have popular meals like the EJ Burger, pizza for the whole family, and famous EJ's Wings. Contact Sarah to book a party for friends, coworkers, or family at Matson's Bowling and Billiards, just south of 48th and Holdridge.
No one's ever explained it this way. That's what we hear at Trade-Offs when you finally see how today's crop insurance tools work with your grain marketing plan, not in isolation. With hail and wind rates increasing and margins already tight, it's time to challenge how you look at crop insurance. It's time to ask better questions. It's time to call Trade-Offs. Call us at 402-858-7501 or visit gotradeus.com to start the conversation. That's GOTREDAS.com. Trade-Offs, ingrained in your success. No, seriously, give us a call.
MWR, a local company of Lincoln, is proud to announce they are able to offer their own post-frame building packages in metal to anyone desiring a building, whether you're a contractor or a DIYer. They can install your building as always, and they offer multiple different rib profiles and loads of color options, including the wood grain metal at great competitive prices. You can inquire at mwrbuildingandfence.com or just draw your desired building and submit it in their Contact Us page, and they'll get back to you. Call MWR today at 402-540-8966.
Hi, Charlie Stone here, and joining me is Andy Goodyear with Honda of Lincoln. Before I bring Andy on, we want to wish you joy, success, and good health in 2026. Andy, are you there?
Yes, I am, Charlie. And by the way, that was well said.
Andy, I know you want to kick off 2026 with a bang. What's going on at the dealership?
We got a lot going on here, Charlie. We have incredible savings on every new remaining 2025, New Year's savings on every new 2026, special low long-term financing, and special lease rates. The biggest news is we have more than 400 new 2025 and 2026 Hondas to choose from.
How about pre-owned?
We have over 125 pre-owned and certified pre-owned Hondas right now, with prices starting at under $10,000, and we have special low rates.
Well, maybe it's time you experience the best. The Honda of Lincoln way of doing business. 27th and Yankee Hill Road, or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
Rick Heyman here from Sartor Heyman Jewelers. I want to personally thank our great customers for voting us once again the best of Lincoln. At the same time, we're celebrating our 120th year in business in the great state of Nebraska. You can count on Sartor Heyman for the very best quality, value, and customer service. When it comes to your jewelry needs, visit us at South Point, Grand Island, and the Outlet in downtown Lincoln. Visit us today at SartorHeyman.com, and thank you for your continued trust after all these years.
A lot of people in the summertime think, gee, I want to build a new home. By the time they go through the process of sitting down, getting the permits, and getting the home started, the home isn't done until January or February.
Bob Benish is the founder and president of Aspen Builders, online at aspenbuildersinc.com.
I think the best time to start designing your new home is the month of February. Get an early start on it. Sit down, the snow's flying. Let's sit around the table. Let's drop some plans. When we're looking out for a homeowner, we're always keeping their budget in mind. Let's put numbers together and let's get that thing started so that the home's done in summer or fall before school starts. So now is really the time to be contacting us to get an appointment to get the job done.
Make your dream a reality and call Aspen Builders at 423-6811. Online at aspenbuildersinc.com. Your dream home is waiting at Aspen Builders.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
Now back to The Drive with Aaron Davis and Nick Sainert on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
That is right. Welcome back. It is The Drive, 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. Nick Sainert with you from Arlington, Texas. Rudy back in our 93.7 The Ticket studios. AD out today. He'll be back in the studio on Monday. This segment brought to you by Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services. Jack has been a well-respected representative since 1999. It can help you protect your home, your vehicle, your family, or even your future. Visit one of their 2 locations in Lincoln or Seward today and give Jack Russell a call, 402-421-9100, to learn how Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services can help you. Rudy, as always, 402-464-5685, Honda of Lincoln Hotline, the Sartor Heyman text line open for everybody. 464-5685 is the number to call and text there. Rudy, big day today for Nebraska baseball. They will face off against 15th ranked the Louisville Cardinals, as they will face a fair share of MLB talent on the other side. More than likely getting the start on the bump for the Louisville Cardinals is going to be a man by the name of Ethan Eberle. Eberle, who is the designated Friday night guy, throws from the left side, 6'5", 220-pound southpaw, a sophomore from Bloomington, Illinois. A guy that got the loss. So Louisville, interesting situation for last week. They played a 3-game set against Michigan State, lost 2 of 3 to the Spartans. Louisville, to start the year, was number 8 in the country. They've dropped 7 spots now after losing 2 of 3. They come in with a 2-2 record as they beat Xavier handily. I believe it was like a 22-3 score, 22-13 score in a midweek game. And so nonetheless, though, Ethan Eberle went 4 1/3 of 2-hit baseball, still got the loss against Michigan State. And I'm really interested to see what type of lineup, Rudy, Nebraska baseball puts forward facing a lefty on the mound today.
Yeah, I agree. I think, too, like you're saying, 2-hit baseball, that's not really something you would expect and then look up and see you got a loss just every time. I mean, it's baseball. Things will happen, but he seems like he can command the zone pretty well, too. 6 strikeouts to 1 walk over the course of 4 1/3. So, yeah, I'm interested to see. I think it's one of those games you kind of got to – with a talented arm like that, especially from the left side, you do need to find a way to jump on him as early as possible. The longer he gets in the game, I'm sure he'll probably get a little more fatigued. He did have 3 hit-by pitches, so maybe that's something to watch for, too. But I think as long as the lineup, whoever it is that they're rolling out there, is prepared to not be overly aggressive, but at least a little eager to jump on him, Obviously not going to go out here and say that it'll be which way of a win or anything, but that at least gives you your best chance against an arm like this, I would say.
Well, I think you're right, and I think a lot. I mean, you can speak to this as well as anybody right now. In terms of the approach at the plate and the discipline that you have to have, especially against an arm like this, right? You mentioned a great point where you can't let him get settled in early. You can't let him get into a groove early. I'm sure a lot of these guys have played in some big venues. I was talking to a couple of the guys yesterday as we were boarding the plane and talking about some of the venues that they've played in. And while I mean, you're at one of the epicenters in newer stadiums in Major League Baseball today, and I would imagine that the crowd is going to be a decent size because Nebraska fans will travel, especially if they heard that snow and cold temperatures were coming this weekend. I know of a couple of people that are down here as well, and so it's it's a situation to where you might have a decent number of fans in the seats and stuff, but the nerves will still be there potentially, especially playing in a ballpark like Globe Life Field. And so if Nebraska can be disciplined at the plate, I thought, for a team that struggled with strikeouts the last couple of years, Nebraska, that is, I felt like in the first week, their discipline and their ability to hit a lot of varying pitches was something that we didn't talk enough about last week in the weekend where they went 3-1. Now, it's good because you faced good competition last week and some NCAA regional caliber teams. But now this weekend, you're going to be facing off a couple of teams that could host regionals. And that's where you want to get to. That's what your expectation is that Will Bolt has set out. And so, Rudy, I mean, that's my thing. This is a good litmus test early on in the season for where you're at as a program, because two of the three teams that you're facing off against this weekend here in Texas very well could be hosting regionals and super regionals by the time the season's over.
Yeah, and I think for a team like Nebraska too, they're not for obvious reasons. I mean, they have the Big Ten championships the last 2 years to go with them, and it's one of those things that it kind of it shows that they're not ranked right now either, but talent's not really the issue here for Nebraska baseball. I'd say I think there's a lot of talented guys up and down the roster, even throughout the bench. There's just some depth that kind of gets overlooked in terms of what you picture for Nebraska baseball all the time. And so I think you're completely right. I think it'll be a great test. It'll show, hopefully, if things do go how I'm expecting, just from my unbiased fan perspective, of course. I think it's one of those games that, however you walk away from it, you have a chance to show that you are where you think you should be. Maybe you're not a top 10 team in the country either, but to be able to have a decent showing against a top 15, top 16 team as well in Florida State, it could go a long way for just not this weekend, but the entire season. And you can put a lot of people on notice this weekend.
I talk about it a lot, sometimes ad nauseum, about just the opportunity that's there for Nebraska to kind of get a hold of the Big Ten Conference. You have UCLA and Oregon come in to the conference, and we know that they're in a much more positive geographical location than maybe Nebraska and a lot of the other Big Ten schools are. But yet, here's the thing: is Nebraska still obviously won the Big Ten title last year in the tournament by knocking off Oregon in the semifinals and knocking off UCLA in the championship game. Now, UCLA is the number one team in the country. However, Nebraska can still kind of staple themselves in as one of the top 2-3 teams in the Big Ten Conference year after year. Like it's there for the taking. In the same breath that we talk about how the Big Ten Conference doesn't get a whole lot of national respect, and that's true and it's accurate and it's unfortunate, we also have to acknowledge the fact that then Nebraska should look at that as a ginormous opportunity to just take it by the throat, if you will. And Nebraska, I feel like over the last couple of years in the regular season, especially in the conference slate, hasn't been able to do that to the extent that they should have been. So now, once again, today, you're going to face off against Louisville. You're going to get Kansas State tomorrow, and you're going to get Florida State on Sunday. This would be a great launching pad, I think, also for the weekend. As we're talking, hey, prove that you belong over the course of a season. I think if you're able to get off on the right foot today, whether you win comfortably, whether it's, I would almost prefer Nebraska to win kind of a narrow ball game. I think that shows who your high leverage guys are. Who can you trust the most when the pressure is the most powerful? I wouldn't mind to see Nebraska, play a 1 or 2 run ball game here, that they come out on the right side of things, because I think that's where we can really learn a lot about this team.
Yeah, I think a lot of those 1 run ball games too, aside from just finding out like who more of your clutch guys are, it also shows just kind of back to your point of how disciplined you can be, because it's a lot easier to kind of tune out after 7 innings if you're up by 8 or so runs, but to be able to be a team that's locked in for 9 innings going against a top 15, top 16 team this weekend, like that does show a lot too. So I completely agree. I think if they're going to win it, a one run or at least a close game where they have to play not perfect baseball, but at least competitive baseball for 9 innings is going to be something that would benefit a lot more than just a blowout, obviously. So yeah, I completely agree.
Yeah, I think you're right. Once again, 464-5685 Honda Lincoln Hotline, Starter Heyman text line open for you guys the entire show today. Nick Sainert joining you live from Arlington, Texas, as Nebraska baseball gets ready for a 3 p.m. first pitch against the Louisville Cardinals. Rudy back in our 93.7 The Ticket Studios in snowy Lincoln, holding down the fort. So thanks to Rudy back there as well. Before we get to break, I do want to just kind of give, and I'll be sending out some pregame stuff throughout the course of the day, throughout the course of the weekend, kind of giving you an inside look on into Louisville. But there are a couple of guys that Nebraska fans should at least be aware of, because Nebraska's roster is going to be aware of them. They have a couple of MLB prospects on their team, a couple of guys that will probably hear their names called in next summer's draft. And a couple of them that we need to talk about. We already mentioned Ethan Eberle, the sophomore pitcher. They have a sophomore first baseman on their team by the name of Tage Davis. 6'4", 220 pounds, swings it from the left side. He actually broke the freshman home run record for Louisville last year, hitting 18 home runs in 64 games, had 52 RBIs, had almost 10 doubles, and was a freshman All-American after hitting 283 from the left side of the plate. And this is a guy that is probably going to be hearing his name called in the high rounds come next MLB draft. But then one of the pieces that Austin and I were talking on Old School Wednesday afternoon with Evan Bland of the Omaha World Herald, Evan said he's interested to see how often opposing teams run on Nebraska. We saw and we know Nebraska more than likely will start Jeter Worthley behind the plate tonight. Or this afternoon, a true freshman back there from Lincoln East High School, and nothing against starting a true freshman, but there is an adjustment. Guys get better jumps. Rudy, you get this. You understand this from even going from high school to college. Doesn't matter the level. Is that the case? Is the guys are better. The talent's better, and you get better jumps, and they're able to read pitchers better. And there's more information and maybe analytical stuff that is put into play. The Louisville Cardinals have a guy that grades out, according to MLB Draft, as a 70 grade runner, which for those that don't know is they grade it on a 20 to 80 scale. 70 to 80 is basically well above average. So that's one of the things I'm looking for today is how does Nebraska handle Louisville's ability to run the bases? We know what Nebraska was able to do a couple of years ago. When they would get on the bases, they would wreak havoc. That was a big reason why they would win a lot of games. Now, when Louisville or any of the teams this weekend try to do it to Nebraska, how do they combat it a little bit better than last week?
Yeah, and to your point too, they're not too shy away from stealing now. They have 14 attempts, 12 for 14 on their attempts right now. So yeah, I mean, I'm sure they're looking at it the exact same way we are, as that catcher is behind the plate for a reason. As an opponent's perspective, you know that he's there for a reason. But at the same time, like he's not accustomed to exactly everything that college baseball is just yet. And that experience will play a factor. Obviously, like you're saying, these guys will have jumps. They'll have some times on pitchers too, because stealing's not just a catcher thing, as you know, too. So I'm sure all that will come into effect. I wouldn't be surprised to see them at least a little more aggressive, but they're obviously a team that's perfectly fine with stealing bases, or at least attempting to. So I'm expecting to see the same thing, actually. That's a great point to bring up.
You're absolutely right. And you mentioned something that's not just on the catcher. And I brought up Jeter Worthley, and this was not me trying to dogpile or act like it was only on him. It is on the pitchers, right? It's a matter of changing up your rhythm on the mound. It's kind of, in sports, we always talk about, hey, settle in, get into a rhythm, right? And it's easy to do that maybe when you don't allow base runners, but naturally in this game, if Louisville is going to get some guys on, which I would imagine they will, like Nebraska's pitchers and their staff on the mound, Rob Childress in the dugout, they're going to have to do a good job of switching up timings, because one of the things that you talked about, if Louisville can pick up that, hey, when Ty Horn is on the mound, he comes set pauses for 1 second and goes, guess what? You're not stealing off of first movement. You're stealing off of timing. And so you're not even watching for first movement. You're telling your guys at first base, you're saying, hey, as soon as horn comes set, count 1,000 and go, because Ty Horn's getting into this rhythm. You can't be too repetitive as a pitcher on the mound when you are in a game, especially of this magnitude. And so it's important for Nebraska as well, that the pitchers, the guys on the mound, to not allow themselves, if they allow some base runners, to get into that rhythm, right? You have to be unpredictable. You have to continue to switch up looks, check him once, then check him 3 times, then throw over once or twice. Like there are things that you have to do to just basically help yourselves, help your catcher in a matter of this, to where Louisville might still swipe a bag, but you're not trying to allow them to swipe 4 bags tonight or this afternoon against the Huskers defense. So we'll talk a lot more about that throughout the course of the day. However, when we come back, we have some history to get to. It is the drive. Before we do get to that, we want to thank once again another sponsor of ours, our friends at Chick-fil-A South Point Pavilion. Stop by Chick-fil-A South Point for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, and grab a new classic cup inspired by retro Chick-fil-A style, and those are available while supplies last. Charlie Colon is down here in Arlington. I'm going to make sure I connect with Charlie as well. I was texting back and forth with him last night while I was at the practice, and Charlie is excited for the weekend, so I'm excited to hear it. Obviously, Charlie, a former Husker himself, and now taking care of business over at Chick-fil-A at South Point Pavilions. Let's step aside. The drive continues next as we close out hour number 1 of the show. Nick Sainer and Rudy with you here on 93.7 The Ticket.
If you're tired of the dieting circuit paradox but still want to look, feel, and perform better, you need to get to Nutrition Authority and ask about our nutrition coaching featuring LifeBase. LifeBase takes a complex world of nutrition and makes it simple with real results that last. Stop in to learn more or check us out at mynutritionauthority.com.
It's seafood season at Amigos. Time to get that one-of-a-kind, crisp crab rangoon burrito and dip it in some sweet chili sauce. There's a crab rangoon Frenchie, too. Enjoy grilled fish, grilled shrimp, or crispy fish tacos, wrapped in warm whole wheat tortillas, topped with pico de gallo, cabbage, and Amigos Chipotle mayo sauce. From jumbo shrimp baskets or fish and chips to fish tacos, there's something for everyone. You'll love the bold, fresh flavors of seafood at Amigos. Amigos is serving up a brand new way to score the bold, fresh flavors you love with 8 affordable value meals. At $5 and $6, these meals are easy on the wallet, so treat yourself anytime. Sink into the new 3-cheese melt or taco melt, both stacked with crave-worthy flavor in every bite. There's crunchy taquito dippers, too, perfect for dunking in Amigos' famous ranch or spicy cheese. Big flavor, small price. Value meals at Amigos.
If you or anyone you care about is facing a family legal matter, call Cordell and Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL or visit CordellCordell.com to schedule your consultation.
There's a lot on the line in divorce. This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. Divorce touches all areas of your life: your home, savings, retirement, and of course, kids. So when you find yourself facing divorce, you need a partner you can count on. Visit CordellCordell.com to schedule your consultation.
If you or anyone you care about is facing divorce, contact Cordell and Cordell today. With over 100,000 clients served, we understand the challenges you're facing on a personal level. Call Cordell and Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL. That's 1-855-GET-LEGAL. 1221 N Street, Lincoln.
Bundle up, bring your crew, and make this winter one for the books with Bachfest on Saturday, February 21st at Beer House. Enjoy winter brews that will tangle with your taste buds, polka dancing, games like Hammerschlagen and Stein Stamina, and more. Bach beer will be flowing, and sausages and pretzels will be available for purchase. Doors open at 11 a.m. and the party goes outside until 6 p.m. before moving inside. VIP tickets are $75, but just $10 gets you in the door. Buy your tickets today at beerhousene.com for Bachfest on Saturday, February 21st. If you're seeking a career with a growing company, Gaina Trucking and Excavating is hiring and looking for additions to their team. Gaina Trucking has a strong team culture, competitive pay, 401ks, and benefits like health, dental, and vision. Drivers are guaranteed 40 hours per week, even in the winter months, and are home every night. Start your career today at Gaina Trucking and Excavating. Apply today at GainaTrucking.com. Husker Nation, your perfect softball plan is here. With the flexible Husker Softball on Deck deal, you choose the action. For just $38, pick any 4 games plus 1 from the can't-miss Iowa series. Build your own schedule, catch your favorite matchups, and cheer on the Huskers your way all season long. But don't wait, these mini plans won't last. Visit Huskers.com/tickets and make your own mini plan today. Go Big Red.
Looking for something fun tonight? Axe throwing, local beer, and great vibes are waiting at Arbor Axe House. From casual nights out to celebrations and team events, it all starts here. Reserve a lane today at arbораxe.com. Arbor Axe House at the corner of N Street and Antelope Valley.
Hey fellas, let's take a quick time out here. February is American Heart Month, and listen, men are the worst at getting checked out. We'll watch every stat in the league, but ignore the most important one. That's our own heart health. So here's the plan. Talk to your doctor about scheduling a quick heart screening at Advanced Medical Imaging. It's fast, it's easy, and it could save your life. Your family needs you around a lot more than your fantasy team does. Make the call, get the checkup, take care of your heart at Advanced Medical Imaging.
A lot of people in the summertime think, gee, I want to build a new home. By the time they go through the process of sitting down, getting the permits, and getting the home started, the home isn't done until January or February.
Bob Benish is the founder and president of Aspen Builders, online at aspenbuildersinc.com.
I think the best time to start designing your new home is the month of February. Get an early start on it. Sit down, the snow's flying. Let's sit around the table. Let's drop some plans. When we're looking out for a homeowner, we're always keeping their budget in mind. Let's put numbers together and let's get that thing started so that the home's done in summer or fall before school starts. So now is really the time to be contacting us to get an appointment to get the job done.
Make your dream a reality and call Aspen Builders at 423-6811. Online at aspenbuildersinc.com. Your dream home is waiting at Aspen Builders.
Hi, Sean Callahan here of HuskerOnline.com, inviting you to join us here on 93.7 The Ticket every Saturday morning. Now in our new time, we're on from 8 to 9 with the weekly Husker Online radio show. We'll give you the latest in recruiting. We'll talk about what's going on with both football, basketball, and we'll probably share a few stories from the inside. It's every Saturday morning right here on 93.7 The Ticket. It's the Husker Online radio show from 8 to 9 a.m.
Tired of asking what's for dinner? Nourished for Life has got you covered. At Nourished, they're a local meal prep company that delivers fresh, chef-crafted, healthy meals straight to your door. Made from wholesome ingredients and ready when you are. No shopping, no chopping. Just heat, eat, and enjoy every night of the week. Fuel your busy days with balanced meals that are designed to keep you satisfied and energized. Visit nourishedforlife.co to purchase meals and taste the convenience of home-cooked comfort without the hassle.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, we'll see mostly sunny skies, the light breeze, an afternoon high around 30. Tonight, a slight chance of snow. Otherwise, we'll see mainly cloudy skies, a low around 14. And tomorrow, we'll see decreasing clouds throughout the day with light winds, an afternoon high near 33. I'm meteorologist Kyle Fleckner for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Make your next event unforgettable with Grazing Gouda, your local artists and experts in charcuterie and grazed tables. From boardrooms to ballrooms, they turn gatherings into experiences with stunning spreads of artesian cheeses, cured meats, fresh fruits, and gourmet bites. Perfect for corporate luncheons, weddings, parties, or any celebration that deserves a wow moment. They handle the details. You take the compliments. Book your graze table today at GrazingGouda.com. Grazing Gouda, because every event deserves to be savored.
Empire Netting and Fence delivers top quality netting and fence solutions. From major sports venues to backyard installs and everything in between, coast to coast. We take on tough jobs with grit, integrity, and a strong commitment to safety. Empire is growing, and we're hiring motivated people ready to grow with us. We build each other up, and we're building something big. Think you've got what it takes? Apply now at empire-fence.com. That's empire-fence.com.
Now back to The Drive with Aaron Davis and Nick Sainert on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back in. It is The Drive, 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. Nick Sainert, Rudy, back in our 93.7 The Ticket studios as I was just looking at the weather for both of the locations that we were in, Rudy. You guys high of 24, according to the good old Weather Channel app. Here in Arlington, we are going to see 71 degrees today. So I will think about you as I go outside in my shorts and T-shirt, my friend.
That is, yep. I got the hoodie and the Carhartt on today when I get out of here, so that's definitely a little jealous there. That sounds amazing. I miss those Texas weather days,
Hey,
but I live with it.
Exactly. We want to thank our friends at Scissors and Scotch Lincoln for providing Husker baseball and basketball coverage here on The Ticket. Blend your old school barber shop feel with your favorite watering hole at Scissors and Scotch in Lincoln, just south of 30th and Yankee Hill Road in South Lincoln. We will have some breaking football news when we come back in the 10 o'clock hour. A new coach just signed a new contract, and or I should say a relatively new Power 5 coach just signed a new contract after he already agreed to one in October. Curt Cignetti has signed a new contract with the Indiana Hoosiers. He just signed one in October for over $11 million annually. Indiana said, you know what, Curt, after you make the national and win the national championship, we want to pay you $13.2 million per year through 2033. And so we will talk a lot more about that as we come back in the 10 o'clock hour. But Rudy, I mean, so far, is the audio okay? Are we hanging in there still audio video wise?
Yeah, no, all good. Everything's running a lot smoother now. We look good.
Okay. That's what we like to hear. So once again, 402-464-5685, the Honda Lincoln Hotline, the Sartor Heyman text line are both open for everybody here, as well as our Sartor Heyman Jewelers video stream, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Allo Cable channel 961. On this day in sports history, I got to take care of this because AD is out today. He will be back on Monday. It's not necessarily on this day in history, but Rudy, we got to talk at some point about the USA hockey situation. The women's hockey team wins gold yesterday. They were down late in the third period. They scored the game-tying goal with less than a couple of minutes left in period number 3. They end up winning it in overtime, and USA takes home gold in women's ice hockey. And then the men's, I believe they have Slovakia today in the semifinals around 3 p.m. If you know that for sure, let me know if that's true.
Let me double check. I know that they definitely play today. I know that. Let me see. Yes, yep. Slovakia at 2:10 p.m. tonight.
Okay, 2:10 p.m. So it was 3:10 Eastern time. So Nebraska, Team USA in terms of the medal count is second behind Norway in total medals here in the Olympics right now, as of like 4 a.m. this morning when I randomly woke up and checked. And so that was the case there. But hey, how about Team USA, the women's hockey team winning gold? They defeat Canada, and while the men's, like we said, will play Slovakia today at 2:10 p.m. in the semifinals. On the other side of the bracket, Canada is, I'm sure, the favorite, and we're waiting to hopefully have a rematch of some of that. What was that called? A couple of I believe it was last year, where it was essentially the World Baseball Classic of hockey. Do you remember what that was called, Rudy?
I'm trying to find it here. I cannot. Let me see. I know exactly what you're talking about when we got in that 3 fights in the first 9 seconds.
Yeah, exactly. So it's going to be kind of a rematch of that situation, but just only under the Olympics name. So nonetheless, I'm sure the text line will be able to help me out on that point. But what that tournament or challenge was called, where you got the countries involved and stuff. But yeah, that'll do it for today in sports history. When we come back in hour number 2 of the show, definitely going to dive deeper into Nebraska football. We finally hear from Matt Rule, Rob Orich, Dana Holgerson yesterday, what they had to say regarding spring football for Nebraska. We got a little bit of breaking news like we talked about with Curt Cignetti. And after, there was some chances of teams trying to come in and take him away in October, they signed him to an extension back then. But now guess what? They even upped his salary to make him one of the highest paid coaches in terms of known salary in all of college football. at Indiana University. So we talk about that in hour number 2. Nebraska men's basketball has a much needed, I think it's okay to classify it as a get right game tomorrow against Penn State at home. And so Nebraska will try to bounce back after that tough loss on Tuesday in Iowa City, as they have 5 games left in the regular season in this historic year that they are having. And then we will wrap up the show with last preview from Arlington, Texas. So once again, Nick Sainer, Rudy back in our 93.7 The Ticket studios. I am live from Arlington, Texas, as it's time to round out hour number 1 of the program. Turn to hour number 2, the 10 a.m. hour, here on 93.7 The Ticket in just a moment.
All right, Lincoln, if you're a diesel technician who's ready to earn up to $40 an hour and you're tired of working nights and weekends, listen up. Inland Truck Parts and Service is hiring experienced diesel technicians right here in Lincoln, and they're offering what every hardworking tech wants. Monday through Friday hours, no nights, no weekends, and paid training on advanced diesel technology. With 37 locations across 12 states, career advancement opportunities are endless. Start building towards your future and apply today at inlandtruck.com. That's inlandtruck.com. Or text APPLY to 785-369-1320.
Rick Heyman here from Sartor Heyman Jewelers. I want to personally thank our great customers for voting us once again the best of Lincoln. At the same time, we're celebrating our 120th year in business in the great state of Nebraska. You can count on Sartor Heyman for the very best quality, value, and customer service. When it comes to your jewelry needs, visit us at South Point, Grand Island, and the Outlet in downtown Lincoln. Visit us today at sartorheyman.com, and thank you for your continued trust after all these years.
Winter is just around the corner. Is your vehicle ready? Don't get left out in the cold. At A1 Automotive, we prep your car for whatever winter throws your way here in Nebraska. For battery checks, to brake inspections, tires, heaters, whatever your car needs to keep you and your family safe on the road, we've got you covered. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
Bundle up, bring your crew, and make this winter one for the books with Bachfest on Saturday, February 21st at Beer House. Enjoy winter brews that will tangle with your taste buds, polka dancing, games like Hammerschlagen and Stein Stamina, and more. Bach beer will be flowing, and sausages and pretzels will be available for purchase. Doors open at 11 a.m. and the party goes outside until 6 p.m. before moving inside. VIP tickets are $75, but just $10 gets you in the door. Buy your tickets today at beerhousene.com for Bachfest on Saturday, February 21st.
A lot of people in the summertime think, gee, I want to build a new home. By the time they go through the process of sitting down, getting the permits, and getting the home started, the home isn't done until January or February.
Bob Benish is the founder and president of Aspen Builders, online at aspenbuildersinc.com.
I think the best time to start designing your new home is the month of February. Get an early start on it. Sit down. The snow's flying. Let's sit around the table. Let's drop some plans. When we're looking out for a homeowner, we're always keeping their budget in mind. Let's put numbers together and let's get that thing started so that the home's done in summer or fall before school starts. So now is really the time to be contacting us to get an appointment to get the job done.
Make your dream a reality and call Aspen Builders at 423-6811. Online at aspenbuildersinc.com. Your dream home is waiting at Aspen Builders.
Stop into Zollner Fort Beatrice for Truck Month. Check out 0% financing with approved credit on all F-150s excluding Raptor. Or save up to $11,000 off MSRP on select 2025 SDX and XLT models in stock. Check out many service specials as well. $20 rebate on the Works package or up to $50 off new brakes and rotors. Maverick, Ranger, Super Duty, F-150 or Bronco. It's Truck Month at Zollner Fort Beatrice, Nebraska's volume dealer with the hometown service you expect.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC. And on behalf of the entire Koppel team, we would like to say thank you to all of our loyal customers and employees that have allowed us to become one of the most successful GM dealerships in the country for the past 50 years. So we are celebrating that with some huge discounts. Right now, we have up to $13,500 off MSRP or 0% APR on select new models, and new Blazer EVs are leasing for $279 a month with zero down. So check us out online at KoppelCars.com. All deals with approved credit. See dealer for details.
Husker Nation, your perfect softball plan is here. With the flexible Husker softball on deck deal, you choose the action. For just $38, pick any 4 games plus 1 from the Can't Miss Iowa series. Build your own schedule, catch your favorite matchups, and cheer on the Huskers your way all season long. But don't wait, these mini plans won't last. Visit huskers.com/tickets and make your own mini plan today. Go Big Red.
Planet Fitness has everything you need anytime the motivation hits, so you can give everything you've got. With most clubs open 24 hours, you've got access to our best-in-class equipment to tackle early morning reps, late-night miles, and every workout in between. Join the club today and save $28 or more when you join for just $1 down, $15 a month. Cancel anytime. Deal ends February 27th. You ready? Planet Fitness. We're all strong on this planet. See club for details.
Big value and big flavor meet at Wings and Rings thanks to the all-new Delicious Duo Combo. This is the one you've been waiting for. Get 1 half-sized appetizer and 2 entrees with a side for only $19.99. Bring a friend for the best deal in town on any day of the week, during game time, or whenever the heck you want. Their made-to-order wings and chicken sandwiches are waiting for you at their 68th and O and 40th and Old Cheney locations. Stop by Wings and Rings and celebrate every day with the best meal deal in town.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Concrete Industries has immediate job openings for precast production laborers and maintenance technicians. Concrete Industries offers great pay, health benefits, 401k, a wellness program, holidays, and paid time off. Apply today to earn a starting pay of $21.50 per hour plus a $1,500 hiring bonus. Concrete Industries is hiring all experience levels and offers on-the-job training. Start your career today as a precast production laborer or maintenance technician. Visit concreteindustries.com.
Tune in to 93.7 The Ticket immediately after every Nebraska men's basketball game for 1 hour of post-game recap. The Nebraska Basketball Postgame Show is sponsored by Union Bank and Trust, John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electrical, Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services, and the Lincoln Airport on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
If you're tired of the dieting circuit paradox but still want to look, feel, and perform better, you need to get to Nutrition Authority and ask about our nutrition coaching featuring LifeBase. LifeBase takes a complex world of nutrition and makes it simple with real results that last. Stop in to learn more or check us out on mynutritionauthority.com.
Welcome to The Drive with Aaron Davis and Nick Sainert. Former football national champion, speaker, and author Aaron Davis.
Pain is a teacher if you use it. And the lessons in the carnage of pain sometimes are elusive. They hide, they're stealth. The work is finding the lessons through the pain. There's always a message in the mess. Depends on if we want to get dirty and look for it.
Nick Sainert.
Driving left side is Boyer, picks up his dribble, looking for some help, decides to go up strong with it, and the layup will rattle home. Jack Riley picks the pocket of BJ Bradford up the floor to Jack Ostrider. Watch out! Mafisi in the lane, kicks it out. 3-ball, Townsley, right wing, it's good!
It's on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back in. It is The Drive, 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. Nick Sainert, Rudy back in our 93.7 The Ticket studios. I am live from Arlington, Texas, as Nebraska baseball will get ready to roll at 3 p.m. later this afternoon against the Louisville Cardinals. In addition to that, they will play 7 p.m. tomorrow night against Kansas State, and then 2:30 on Sunday against the Florida State Seminoles. And so it'll be a good weekend of ball out here at Globe Life Field, the home of the Texas Rangers. And every time I'm in that stadium, Rudy, it is unbelievable. I put a couple of videos out and photos on social media. I was here for opening day last March against the Boston Red Sox, just because I took some time off after the state basketball tournaments last March. And I was here for opening day. That was my first time here, and so I was excited to get back here because, dude, you've been here, right? You've been to Globe
Yeah.
Life?
Yep.
Yeah.
No, that thing's
Unbelievable, bro.
Yeah, we win.
So
We
it
took
is really cool.
all good. I was gonna say
Sorry,
we
brother,
took a
go
little
ahead.
we took a tour of the entire stadium with the baseball team a couple years ago. It was insane how much money they put into there, but obviously it's all worth it on the inside. I remember there was a lot of jokes about it just being a metal barn, but it's really nice in there.
Well, and it's a really cool entertainment district that they have down here. Like if you're just a general baseball fan and you want to watch a major league game, I highly recommend coming down here because they have a great entertainment district with Texas Live that's right next door to it. It is a great spot. It's basically the rail yard on steroids, and so it's gonna be a fun weekend for Husker fans that made the trip here. There's a lot of really good teams that are in this tournament as well. Michigan, Auburn, Louisville, Florida State, Kansas State, Nebraska. There's a lot of really good tournament teams, probably ones that we'll see come May and June in the postseason that are playing some early season tournaments down here in Texas. And so it's going to be a really fun time. I was looking online also. You can get a weekend pass for every single game here for $96. So you don't even have to pick a team. You can get every single. You can go to every single game for a total of $96, according to Ticketmaster and stuff. And so it's pretty affordable. So obviously you got to pay for the travel down here, but I'm glad to see that they're making it somewhat affordable for folks to get into the door. As always, 402-464-5685, the Honda Lincoln hotline, the Starter Heyman text line open. We were trying to think of the name of the hockey tournament last segment that was played last year, Four Nations. So thank you to the texter on the text line 9842 for sending that in. It was the Four Nations is what they called it. And so I'll probably be trying to tune into that 2:10 face-off for United States and Slovakia on the men's side of things in the semifinal match to see if the Team USA can play for gold and do exactly what the women's side of the sport did yesterday against Canada. Now, as like we talked about in the previous segment, Rudy, Curt Cignetti, man, just continues to get paid. He gets the initial contract extension and kind of revisement back in October. That was around the same time Nebraska extended Matt Rule to where they were worried about him potentially being poached by some other institutions and universities. Indiana ends up at that time locking him down for $11.6 million a season. And at that time, Cignetti also said that he planned to retire as Indiana's coach, which understandably so. The contract would take it through 2033. Well, today, out of nowhere, nationally, maybe internally, they knew that this was happening. Indiana's Curt Cignetti has signed a new contract after going 16-0, winning the national championship over Miami, and improving his overall record with the Hoosiers to 27-2 overall in those 2 years with the school. Per the Indy Star, Cignetti's new deal still goes through the 2033 season, and he's going to make $13.2 million per year. Rudy, Indiana paying him up, and they are fully going into the hole. We make fun of it, but they are going all in on the football school piece.
Yeah, no, and I think you have no reason not to, especially it's not a Lane Kiffin type of situation where you kind of have these dramatics to follow along. You know he's there to win. You know he's fully bought in on making this program everything it's became so far. So, I mean, if I'm an Indiana fan, if I'm anywhere near this, if I had the chance to have Curt Cignetti coach my team, I think this is exactly what you have to do. He's shown every year that there's a reason to give him more and more money, really, if we're being honest. So, I mean, I love it. I think it's great for him. I think he's in good company as far as Kirby Smart goes. I don't know about Lane Kiffin just yet, but as far as the money they're making, I love it for him. I think he's earned all of it and more, obviously. So it's just crazy with how quick of a couple months between, and then here's another one. So, I mean, that's good for him, but that is a lot of money. So that's great.
Well, it goes back to the active college football coaches that have won a title, right? There's not a very long list, and we added a new one, obviously, in January when Indiana and Curt Cignetti won it. But there's not a very long list. It's Dabo, it's Kirby Smart, it's Curt Cignetti, and I believe that's all. and I might be leaving one or two out, but Nick Saban's retired. Jim Harbaugh's not on the not in the conversation anymore as an active college football head coach. So it's a crazy situation. When you got one, you have to lock it up. And you made a great point about the theatrics, right? You don't get that with Kurt Cinetti. Like, you do unintentionally, because he's just an old guy, or like a dad that just naturally is funny because of the mannerisms and what he does, but he doesn't try to be funny. And you think back to the low hanging fruit, obviously, is the Lane Kiffin situations, right? Where there's his entire career has been that case. But I also, like, this is where I don't think it's wrong of me to bring up, because I've heard a lot of Husker fans talk about this, like the whole backwards hat thing with, as I'm wearing a backwards hat, the whole backwards hat thing with like Matt Rule is like, a lot of people, what we heard at the bowl game was, would you ever hear Kurt Cinetti say that? And now I'm not telling people that hey, every coach needs to coach and operate the same exact way, but also the theatrics can sometimes get you distracted. And I think if you ask Husker fans, even predating Matt Rule, what's kind of been the case with Nebraska, and a big reason why Nebraska struggled to find success, is because you don't know what they're prioritizing. We know Nebraska loves to have the social media videos, and that's a massive part of just branding college athletic programs nowadays. And I'm not to any extent shaming or saying that you shouldn't have a social media department. But what I am saying is, I think hopefully this year, as we heard from Rob Orich and the other, assistant, and Dana Holgerson and Matt Rule yesterday, you hope that now, as we enter a crucial year for Rudy, you gotta get some wins under your belt, some more wins under your belt, especially with that tough schedule that's looming.
Yeah, and I'm in the same boat. Like, obviously, I'm not gonna just bash on everything. Like, obviously, there's a lot of kind of marketing and growth that goes into the new era of being a college football coach. We're seeing it's not just you're here to win. A lot of these guys do like the Lane Kiffin personalities. A lot of guys want to play with guys like that. So I understand that too. But from the Huskers perspective, I always thought, at least when a couple of those first YouTube episodes are coming out in the podcast, and I didn't think there was anything wrong with that specifically, but kind of what you're alluding to here in this upcoming year is kind of what I was looking at this past season too, is I rather see our coach out there winning games and doing the most he can. And it's not that he wasn't or anything, but I rather have that happen after a good season versus in the season you're supposed to be projected to be good and the season things are rolling. I rather see it the next year, if that's just me. So because then now we're in a situation where your progress from last year wasn't too much, and all I kept seeing was just these house rules. And I'm not a hater of it, but I rather see the football side first, and then you get all these things that come with it after, just like a player would in perks and deals. I think it should be the same for coaches, in my opinion.
Well, and we can't be naive, and I'm not going to sit here and act like I'd be able to turn around this program, right? But I'm also not paid to do it, and I think the other side of it is, none of us, and when I bring up the naive part, like, none of us would question this if Nebraska was winning 9, 10, 11 games, right? I think, like, it's easy for us to sit here and criticize when things are going poorly. And rightfully so, right? That makes it. I mean, it's fascinating to see that the text line is more interactive when Nebraska is struggling and when they're losing games and they're emotional, right? And you'd almost wish it's the other way around, but the people are the loudest when things are failing, and so it is so interesting, because I don't want to sit behind this microphone right here and go, oh man, all these things are just so bad for the program. I don't understand. I don't know what's necessarily working for the program or doesn't work for the program. I don't know how that locker room gels. I think, Jay Foreman brought that up with me yesterday morning when he stopped by for a segment where it was a conversation of, look, there's a lot of connection and connecting that you're going to have to do year in and year out when you have a roster of over 100 guys, and Nebraska, who has had to replace and change out assistant coaches year after year. There's a lot of gelling and there's a lot of connecting that has to go on time and time again. And I think you try to find unique ways to do it, but also I think it's also sometimes good just to remember, hey, let's just get back to the basics. Let's just get back to what it's worked. And we heard that from Matt Rule, and this is where I will give him some kudos. We heard it yesterday. They're going to go back to afternoon practices. Now, we can scoff at that all we want. We can say, okay, is that going to really translate to helpful things on Saturdays? That is to be seen. I'm not smart enough to sit here and say yes or no. However, that was something that they did prior to Scott Frost, and then when Coach Frost came in, he changed it to morning practices. So we'll see if that has a direct correlation to success on the football field. Once again, I'm in no way am I saying that Matt Rule is not trying or that the staff does not want to be here. My whole point is that the facts are the facts, to where Nebraska's had to do a lot of team building, connecting, not only because the rosters have changed, but also there's been a lot of new voices year after year leading each room.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think it's one of those things too. I think the fan base is kind of playing a factor into some of this too. But at the same time, like, we don't know what these players are thinking directly of what's going on. And even with Trey Taylor, he seems to be someone that gravitates towards a lot of what Rule is doing. And I think with these younger guys that'll be coming in the future, just as ages change and things change along the age groups of kids, I think it's something that a lot of players will be gravitating towards. Like I said, there's a reason people are going to follow Lane Kiffin wherever he goes. And I think Matt Rule knows that. And that's why I'm in the same boat. Like, I'm not going to criticize from a hater standpoint or anything, but in the same light, we want to win football games here. And I think that kind of, no matter what, like you're saying, if we're not winning games, it's always going to be, oh, it's because of this, it's because of this, it's because of this. So I'm in the same boat. We want to win games, but we also don't know just how big of an impact it could be making behind the scenes too. So I agree.
You're absolutely right. And I think, as a place like Nebraska that's as passionate as they are, and as we are, right? Because even us as guys that kind of break down this program and try to kind of overanalyze it at times, to provide our thoughts and opinions on it. It's easy for us to, once again, similar to what I just kind of talked about, how engagement reaction is greater after failure and after a loss, because people always feel like they can do a better job. I think it's also easier for us to overanalyze and try to get things, and to maybe nitpick a little too much. Now, the facts are the facts. Nebraska's gone to 2 consecutive bowl games after a couple of years of not even being able to play past Black Friday. But I think it can be okay for now Nebraska fans, and this kind of segues into our conversation of spring ball questions. And we want to hear your questions on the text line 464-5685. Send those in. We'll get to them as soon as possible. Is that the spring ball, the facts going into year 4 of Matt Rule are, all right, what's the next step? And I compare it, for this exercise, I'm going to compare it to Nebraska men's basketball, or it could be even to Nebraska baseball, to where Nebraska men's basketball, it's okay, you've gotten consecutive 20-win seasons, but naturally so, you should want to raise the bar. Now, did we see them raising the bar all the way up to a potential 2 or 3 or 4 seed in the NCAA tournament? Maybe not, but we expected them to, hey, take those 20-win seasons, improve your roster over the offseason, and on top of that, maybe earn a double bye in the Big Ten tournament. Be in that top 8 team standings area of the Big Ten Conference. Nebraska basketball is overachieving. Now, for Husker football, to use that same analogy and thought process, okay, what's the next step? Maybe not a Las Vegas Bowl, but maybe something that a 10-win team goes to, right? Nebraska, can you get 9 wins? You started out 5-1 this last year. The schedule wasn't necessarily daunting, but what's the next step in the success plan? And that's, I think, how you can judge factually on how a program is being built, whether it's for positives or for negatives, is by, okay, where are they in relative conversation to last year, to the previous year as well, instead of looking at it over the course of the program and saying, okay, you know what? Well, hey, we're winning more than we were from 2018 to 2022. Well, yeah, because those were some pretty dark times in Nebraska football. It's not hard to win more games than what they had then.
Yep. Yeah, I agree. It's always, if the bar's at the floor, it's not too hard to be above that. So I agree. But yeah, like you're saying, that success has to be upped a little bit, at least from the standards of expectations and the bar being set here. It's what you expect. So I agree.
Yeah, and it's funny, Eric. Always love hearing from Eric. Eric said back at 9:10 a.m. He said, "I'm turning the station." He says this because I'm on the air here. He then texted in 11 minutes later and said, "We can actually hear Nick." And I asked him, "Eric, I thought you were turning the station." And Eric now texts in again an hour and 23 minutes into the show and says, "It's like why I'm always criticizing Nick. It's because it's usually going poorly for him." Now, here's the thing, Eric. I appreciate you still an hour and 23 minutes into the show, still talking and hanging out with us. Happy Friday. And I will do the job of Aaron Davis in this case to you, Eric. Happy Friday. So AD will be happy that I threw that in there simply just for you, Eric. Dirty Tony and the boys says, "Come on, Nick. If Scott Frost won a self-proclaimed title with Central Florida, that's true." And so it's just like, once again, I think it's sometimes good as programs, and I think Nebraska football has done this, and Matt Rule has kind of made the adjustments. And there was something that Matt Rule said yesterday in his press conference that stood out to me, and it was that, hey, Rob Orange is going to come in, he's going to run his system, I'm going to try to get out of the way. I feel like and this is me speculating, this is me just kind of saying my opinions out loud. I feel like over the last couple of years, there's been hands in cookie jars. And unfortunately, if you get too many hands in the cookie jars, then nobody can get the cookie. And it's just a matter of, I think, with Nebraska football, as Nebraska's had to go through assistants like crazy, 9 of them over the last couple of years. Now, not all of those are simply because Matt Rule has wanted to. It's been because Matt Rule has maybe had to, because of their actions off the field, on the field, whatever it may be. So, the number still is true, though. 9 full-time assistants have either been reassigned or been fired and brought in new ones over the last couple of years under Matt Rule. That's a large number that, as things, if they don't get better, if they don't improve, you start to question then who's in charge. And that's just, once again, a factual spot. I'm not there yet. I'm not there with Matt Rule yet. I'm looking forward to this year 4. It's a very critical year for Nebraska football. They're going to have plenty of tests on their schedule. We all know about it. But for right now, heading into spring ball, it's control what you can control, get back to basics, and hopefully, spring ball starts tomorrow, and hopefully Nebraska feels pretty good about their things going forward through the spring and into the summer, especially with the new quarterback. There's all that angle of it as well. Before we go to break, do once again want to thank all of our partners for the sponsorship and partnership of bringing us down here to Arlington, Texas. Most notably, Ben Blanker with Professional Realty Group at BHHS Real Estate. Whether you're buying or selling a home or a property, make sure you trust Ben's team with more than a decade of experience. Call Ben Blanker at 402-419-6309 today. So obviously, we want to thank Ben Blanker with Professional Realty Group and BHHS Real Estate, Diode Technologies, Scissors and Scotch Lincoln, and Chick-fil-A South Point Pavilions for their partnership in bringing us down here to Arlington, Texas, as Nebraska baseball will play Louisville at 3 p.m. today. Number 15, Louisville at 3 p.m. today. And more than likely, Ethan Eberle, the left-handed southpaw, on the mound for the Cardinals. As always, you can chime into the show, 402-464-5685, as well as the Starter Heyman live video stream, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Allo Cable Channel 961. You can always reach out to Rudy and myself individually and personally on Twitter if you so desire. We'll step aside. When we come back, we go back to the hardwood. We talk Nebraska, Penn State tomorrow. We also recap Nebraska women's basketball losing their 6th in a row to the Oregon Ducks last night, as that NCAA tournament hope continues to dwindle and shrink as the season progresses. Time is running out on Nebraska women's basketball after they started 11-0. That's not so much the case anymore, as they fall in Eugene on Thursday night. The Drive continues next. Nick and Rudy with you here on 93.7 The Ticket.
If you're seeking a career with a growing company, Gaina Trucking and Excavating is hiring and looking for additions to their team. Gaina Trucking has a strong team culture, competitive pay, 401ks, and benefits like health, dental, and vision. Drivers are guaranteed 40 hours per week, even in the winter months, and are home every night. Start your career today at Gaina Trucking and Excavating. Apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and on behalf of the entire Koppel team, we would like to say thank you to all of our loyal customers and employees that have allowed us to become one of the most successful GM dealerships in the country for the past 50 years. So we are celebrating that with some huge discounts. Right now, we have up to $13,500 off MSRP or 0% APR on select new models, and new Blazer EVs are leasing for $279 a month with zero down. So check us out online at KoppelCars.com. All deals with approved credit. See dealer for details.
Husker Nation, your perfect softball plan is here. With the flexible Husker Softball On Deck deal, you choose the action. For just $38, pick any 4 games plus 1 from the can't-miss Iowa series. Build your own schedule, catch your favorite matchups, and cheer on the Huskers your way all season long. But don't wait, these mini plans won't last. Visit huskers.com/tickets and make your own mini plan today. Go Big Red. Looking to get a room downtown or near South Lincoln? Abe Lincoln would tell you no to the Ford Theater and yes to Lincoln Hotel. Save up to 40% off downtown Lincoln prices with a nice clean room and comfortable stay. Lincoln Hotel is locally owned and offers a day pass to the city's largest locally owned gym, Good Life Fitness. Long-term stays are available. You can learn more about pricing and book your Lincoln Hotel stay today at staylnk.com or call 402-600-0565. That's staylnk.com or call 402-600-0565.
Why are some people more successful? Is it talent and determination, or did they recognize an opportunity? Discover a career that lets you help families reach their financial goals as you build lasting professional relationships. One with unlimited income potential. From Modern Woodman, a leading fraternal financial services provider.
I'm Modern Woodman Regional Director Sean Erickson. Call me at 402-483-6515 to learn about career opportunities.
Modern Woodman of America. Touching lives, securing futures.
When you were a kid, clubs were cool. Robotics club and space club and stuff like that. But what do adults get? Book clubs and quilting clubs? Nah, forget that. How about margarita clubs and old-fashioned clubs? Get to Upside Bar and Lounge for the best clubs in town. Try all 10 varieties of Upside margaritas or old-fashions and take home a free souvenir glass. Grab the whole crew and pair it with taco night on Mondays or whiskey Wednesdays. Upside Bar and Lounge at 29th and Pine Lake.
Good morning, Breakers. This is Scott Miller from Midwest Bank. When I recently joined Midwest Bank, I was immediately impressed by our exceptional service. My first customer made the switch from a large corporate bank and didn't have to wait in line or call a 1-800 number. We treated him like family. He now visits the bank just to say hello. While other banks go corporate, we stay Nebraska. Visit us at midwest.bank or drop by a branch today. Your community, your bank. Midwest Bank. Member FDIC.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today. We'll see mostly sunny skies, the light breeze, an afternoon high around 30. Tonight, a slight chance of snow. Otherwise, we'll see mainly cloudy skies, a low around 14. And tomorrow, we'll see decreasing clouds throughout the day with light winds, an afternoon high near 33. I'm meteorologist Kyle Buckner for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
This is Jordy Ball for Anderson Ford. For years, Anderson has relied on an exceptional customer experience. But just this once, they're going to rely on a really great pitch.
Right now, lease a 2025 Ford F-150 for $199 per month.
Experience better at Anderson Ford.
Stock number 1007055. Previous service loaner. $199 per month. Lease for 36 months with approved credit. 7,500 miles per year. 6,800 to assignee. No security deposit required. Tax, title, and license fees extra. Residency restrictions apply. Program subject to change. Plus take new retail delivery from the Anderson Auto Group by 3/31/26. See dealer for details.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
Nutrition Authority invites you to check out the top-selling Epic Effects. Epic Effects is designed to help blast body fat, curb cravings, and provide smooth energy so you can cruise through the day. Home of free samples and better than internet pricing, Epic Effects can only be found in Nutrition Authority. For store info, visit mynutritionauthority.com.
Hey
guys, Nick Sainert here. Join me live from Arlington, Texas, this Friday through Sunday as 93.7 The Ticket covers Husker baseball's appearance in the Amagi Bank College Baseball Series. I'll have pregame and postgame videos on the Ticket's social media pages, as well as commentary throughout Friday's 3 p.m. game versus Louisville, Saturday's 7 p.m. game against Kansas State, and Sunday's 2:30 p.m. game against Florida State. Our coverage from Arlington is sponsored by Diode Technologies, Ben Bleicher of Professional Realty Group of BHHS Ambassador, Scissors and Scotch Lincoln, and Chick-fil-A South Point Pavilions.
Planet Fitness has everything you need anytime the motivation hits, so you can give everything you've got. With most clubs open 24 hours, you've got access to our best-in-class equipment to tackle early morning reps, late night miles, and every workout in between. Join the club today and save $28 or more when you join for just $1 down, $15 a month. Cancel anytime. Deal ends February 27th. You ready? Planet Fitness. We're all strong on this planet. See club for details.
Hi, Sean Callahan here of HuskerOnline.com, inviting you to join us here on 93.7 The Ticket every Saturday morning now in our new time. We're on from 8 to 9 with the weekly Husker Online radio show. We'll give you the latest in recruiting. We'll talk about what's going on with both football, basketball, and we'll probably share a few stories from the inside. It's every Saturday morning right here on 93.7 The Ticket. It's the Husker Online radio show from 8 to 9 a.m.
Now back to the drive with Aaron Davis and Nick Sainert on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
It is 10:37 here in Texas, the same time as it is in good old Lincoln, Nebraska. Nick Sainert with you from Arlington, just about a block and a half away from Globe Life Field down here, as Nebraska baseball will play at 3 p.m. today on Flow College. I highly recommend, I would recommend that you just do not worry about the subscription and stay tuned to number one Old School at 3 p.m. with Austin and Jay, as they will provide plenty of updates. Austin, who was down in Phoenix and in Arizona, Scottsdale, Mesa, that kind of Tri-City area last week. He was down there as he watched Nebraska baseball start the season 3-1. They kind of struggled on Monday against Stanford, where they allowed 6 runs in the first inning. The same rotation, though, on Friday, Saturday, Sunday this week for the Huskers in Ty Horn today on Friday, Carson Yassa tomorrow on Saturday against Kansas State, and then on Sunday, Gavin Blockowitz will get the start against 16th ranked Florida State at 2:30 p.m. Now, before we wrap up the show in the next segment, we got to get back to the hardwood, Rudy, because Nebraska, let's start with the women's side of things. Nebraska women's basketball, they lose 80-76 to the Oregon Ducks last night. They will play Washington the next time out. Only 2 games remain in the regular season for Nebraska women's basketball, a team that currently sits 12th in the Big Ten standings. The top 15 teams will make the Big Ten tournament for women's basketball. It's a little bit different than the men's side of things. All 18 teams will make it on the men's side this year. But Rudy, it is crunch time for Nebraska women's basketball. They will stay on the West Coast, play Washington in the next couple of days. They come back home. They will play Rutgers on senior night at Pinnacle Bank Arena. But then it's on to the Big Ten tournament, where they might need to make some noise because, Rudy, they are 0-10 in quad one games.
Yeah, and I think just the way that this stretch has gone, especially last night, that fourth quarter wasn't anything ideally to kind of note in terms of good things we saw for the Huskers women's basketball team. But I think for a team that is as talented as they kind of were, they had that stretch of being ranked as well. I just think right now it's kind of just not an elephant in the room, but everyone on that team knows how important these games are going to be coming up. And I hope that doesn't, because it can go one of two ways. It can either ramp you up perfectly, or it could just add a little bit of too much pressure. And so I am curious to see how maybe they bounce back to that. But at the same time, like you're saying, no quad one wins. They've kind of put themselves in a lot bigger of a hole than they probably not should have, obviously, because nobody ever wants to be in that situation. But maybe more than they expected to be at this point. I'd say it's not really ideal to be leading for 12 points and then drop that in the fourth quarter at all. So I am curious to see how they bounce back. That'll be more important than anything, but they are running out of time, like you've said.
It's interesting because you'll remember last year they came to the Fort Worth Regional where they had to play Louisville in the first round. They lost. They would then had to play Haley Van Lith and the TCU Horned Frogs if they would have won. The NCAA committee right now, as of now, this was before the Oregon loss. Autumn Johnson, who is a women's basketball expert, former player as well, she revealed her first NCAA bracket predictions. Nebraska is a 7 seed in her predictions, in her projections. Still, we got to remember Nebraska women's basketball did start the season 11-0. They are 3-1 against quad 2 opponents. They are 10-0 against quad 4 opponents. The only problem is that they're just winless against quad 1 opportunities, which certainly hinders them. They're still 30th in the net, which isn't necessarily a bad number by any means. But still, when you talk about just who you're going to play, your seeding opportunities, as it stands right now in the projections, Nebraska, how about this? Projected to land about 15 minutes away from me in the Fort Worth Regional, where they would play Iowa State hypothetically as a 10, or Nebraska would be the 7 seed, Iowa State would be the 10 seed in this projected bracket. So it's not necessarily a massive concern right now for Nebraska women's basketball, but it's getting to the point where if you want to get on your horse a little bit, you might need to get some wins underneath your belt. And they're going to have 2 more opportunities. Washington coming up. Washington, that is 19-8 on the year. They will play Washington on Sunday. Huskies 19-8 on the year, 9-7 in the Big Ten Conference. The tip-off is scheduled for 2 p.m. Central Time, and it will be televised on the Big Ten Network. Now, on the other side of it, Rudy, we started to briefly talk about it at the start of the show, but now we have a couple of more minutes to dive into it as our audio is more solid now. Nebraska men's basketball, a get-right game, my friend, and I'll let you kind of go off on this one. A get-right game for Nebraska men's basketball tomorrow against Penn State.
Yeah, AD and I actually talked about this a decent amount on Wednesday, and so I think it's kind of the same thing. Obviously, you, as a fan, especially right now, you're kind of in that mindset of 2 sides of the coin of let's just keep winning, but I completely agree. This is the game that not that you need to go out there and the only thing that matters is how many points you score, but to kind of get yourself back on track, get back into your rhythm. You can't let any hope of doubt creep in this game. I think you got to go out there, do what you got to do, take care of business, but it has to be done in a way that kind of seems not perfect, but at least back to what is more normal for this team that we've seen. I think they got to get better on the rebounding side of things. They got to they got to learn how to capitalize from some more of these turnover points like I brought up last phone call as well. It's just, this is a good tune-up game in a sense as far as get back to who you are, stay aggressive, do what you've been doing well. And I think it comes at a right time. I think this would be a good little bounce back, like you're saying, a get back win. So I'm expecting them to go out there, handle business dominantly in a sense, but at the same time, you do just want to keep winning above all, like AD focuses on. But I'm with you. This has to be a big one for sure.
It is. And Penn State is 11-16 on the year. They're 2-4 in the conference. I mean, they've had some bad losses, especially last time out. They fell to Rutgers by 13 at home, which certainly is not somewhere where you want to be. Lost 85-72. We remember what Nebraska did against Oregon as well at home. Oregon actually won against Penn State by 11. They lost to USC. They got demolished by Michigan. They lost by 21. They lost.
Kind of cutting
They
out
lost
a
to
little
Wisconsin by 27. They lost to Maryland by. This is a Penn State team. Nebraska there's just no excuse. Sorry, this is just a no excuse type of thing for Nebraska. This is Nebraska has to go and take care of business and handle everything. And I expect them to. Like just because Nebraska lost on Tuesday, Rudy, doesn't mean that Nebraska can't handle their own and can't do their thing against Penn State today. I expect them to go out and take care of business pretty comfortably. And dare I predict a 20-plus point win? Nebraska should be 20 points better than Penn State is right now.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. And it's not even from let's be overly optimistic. Like you're saying, the stats are right there. The records are there. They are the better team, and they just got to go out there and do what they've been doing all year, aside from a couple hiccups here and there. But I agree. They have to show that they are who they are, really.
Yeah, I looked at Bart Torvik and that website that I've kind of referenced multiple times on this show with AD. And just yesterday, he projects it as Nebraska's 25.5 points better just based off of the analytics and the paper statistics. He projects that Nebraska should win by 25 points tomorrow against Penn State. I think every Husker fan will be happy with 25 points. Now, there's something to be said about in a game like that against a team like Penn State that you feel like you should beat comfortably. Maybe there are things that are more important, like how you come out of the locker room right out of the gate. How do you start the game? Nebraska has not necessarily been a great first half team these last couple of weeks. So how do they come out in the first half, in the first 20 minutes? And then can they continue to do what they usually do in the second half, where they are second in the Big Ten in terms of point margin in the final 20 minutes of a game? They're outscoring opponents on average of a 9.4 points per every second half that they play. So able to close out opponents when it matters most. But then last and certainly not least is I'm interested to see, can they get creatively offensively with guys like Price? Austin and I talked extensively about it on Tuesday. You got to figure out a way to get him shots, and teams are starting to realize that you can play pretty physical against Nebraska. And if the officials allow it to happen, well, then you're kind of, screwed to a certain extent, but also try to find creative ways. This might be a game where we see Fred Hoiberg get a little more creative, try a few other things, maybe risk a little bit, because you feel like the margin for error might be a little bit wider than it was on the road against Iowa, or what it is against a fellow top 10 or top 15 team. So we'll see what happens. Nebraska should handle business against Penn State tomorrow. It's good to go into these games feeling this way, and then for them to also take care of business, right? Like, hopefully tomorrow is a day where it's just business as usual, and there's no stress coming from the walls inside Pinnacle Bank Arena. Let's step aside, close out the show, get you ready for the 11 o'clock hour with Bach here as we continue our coverage live from Arlington, Texas. Nick Sainer and Rudy with you here on The Drive on 93.7 The Ticket.
This is Jordy Ball for Anderson Ford. For years, Anderson has relied on an exceptional customer experience. But just this once, they're going to rely on a really great pitch.
Right now, lease a 2025 Ford F-150 for $199 per month.
Experience better at Anderson Ford.
Stock number 1007055. Previous service loader. $199 per month. Lease for 36 months with approved credit. 7,500 miles per year. 6,800 to its signing. No security deposit required. Tax, title, and license fees extra. Residency restrictions apply. Program subject to change. Plus take new retail delivery from the Anderson Auto Group by 3/31/26. See dealer for details.
Planet Fitness has everything you need anytime the motivation hits, so you can give everything you've got. With most clubs open 24 hours, you've got access to our best-in-class equipment to tackle early morning reps, late-night miles, and every workout in between. Join the club today and save $28 or more when you join for just $1 down, $15 a month. Cancel anytime. Deal ends February 27th. You ready? Planet Fitness. We're all strong on this planet. See club for details.
93.7 The Ticket. Fox KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, we'll see mostly sunny skies, the light breeze, an afternoon high around 30. Tonight, a slight chance of snow. Otherwise, we'll see mainly cloudy skies, a low around 14. And tomorrow, we'll see decreasing clouds throughout the day with light winds, an afternoon high near 33. I'm meteorologist Kyle Buckner for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Lincoln's go-to for fun isn't new. It's a place that's been a staple of the city for years and is only getting better. Matson's Bowling and Billiards always has open bowling available with no long lines, unlike other centers. They have live music almost every weekend and great food at EJ's Bar and Lounge, with seating for 150 people. They have popular meals like the EJ Burger, pizza for the whole family, and famous EJ's Wings. Contact Sarah to book a party for friends, coworkers, or family at Matson's Bowling and Billiards, just south of 48th and Holdridge.
Tune in to 93.7 The Ticket immediately after every Nebraska men's basketball game for 1 hour of post-game recap. The Nebraska Basketball Postgame Show is sponsored by Union Bank and Trust, John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electrical, Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services, and the Lincoln Airport on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and right now at Koppel, we are offering big discounts on all of our inventory. 2026 GMC Terrains are leasing at $279 per month or buy for $27,690. 2026 Canyon is leasing for $269 or buy for $40,980. Also right now, all new Equinox EVs and all half-ton trucks are starting at $12,000 off MSRP. These are just a few examples of some of the aggressive pricing going on right now at Koppel. Please stop on in or check us out at koppelcars.com. All leases with $2,500 down with a roof credit.
All right, Lincoln, if you're a diesel technician who's ready to earn up to $40 an hour and you're tired of working nights and weekends, listen up. Inland Truck Parts and Service is hiring experienced diesel technicians right here in Lincoln, and they're offering what every hardworking tech wants. Monday through Friday hours, no nights, no weekends, and paid training on advanced diesel technology. With 37 locations across 12 states, career advancement opportunities are endless. Start building towards your future and apply today at inlandtruck.com. That's inlandtruck.com. Or text APPLY to 785-369-1320.
With UBT, you've got total control over your money. Like Doug, who runs his game day tailgate like a well-oiled machine.
I got burgers, brats, chicken, dogs, plus all the fixins. And with the UBT Go app, I can track my food spending from anywhere.
Pro move.
They don't call me Grill Sergeant for nothing.
No matter your goals, UBT helps you feel good about reaching them. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
When it comes to concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction doesn't stall. They go for the takedown. As Nebraska's full-service concrete contractor, they stay in bounds, hold inside position, and never forfeit quality. Whether it's foundations, flatwork, or concrete coatings, they elevate performance and pin down results that win every time. Stevens & Smith Construction is a proud sponsor of Takedown Tuesdays on 93.7 The Ticket. Because when it's time to wrestle with concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction slams expectations. Big value and big flavor meet at Wings and Rings thanks to the all-new Delicious Duo Combo. This is the one you've been waiting for. Get one half-sized appetizer and 2 entrees with a side for only $19.99. Bring a friend for the best deal in town on any day of the week, during game time, or whenever the heck you want. Their made-to-order wings and chicken sandwiches are waiting for you at their 68th and O and 40th and Old Cheney locations. Stop by Wings and Rings and celebrate every day with the best meal deal in town.
Way out there where the sun comes up under the big red sky, I do life the way I love, with family by my side. I feel home with me, no matter where I go.
Proud of where we're from, excited for where we're going. Pinnacle Bank, the way banking should be. Member FDIC.
Tired of your furnace running overtime this winter? Let Heartland of Nebraska Windows save the day. Upgrade to stunning, energy-saving triple-pane vinyl windows installed by their team of experts. Every window comes with a lifetime warranty on everything, all for a price you can actually afford. Free estimates, flawless replacements, and peace of mind from a family-owned business you can trust. Don't wait. Call Heartland of Nebraska Windows at 402-430-3852 or visit heartlandofnebraskawindows.com today.
There are so many realtors in Lincoln and Omaha, but don't get overwhelmed by all the no-names, plus all the different companies. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group at Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Real Estate is your go-to option, whether buying or selling residential, luxury, leasing, investment properties, or commercial property, small or large. Ben's team offers decades of experience, unbeatable customer service, and promises to fully protect your interests throughout the entire transaction. Call 402-419-6309 for all your real estate needs. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group of BHHS Ambassador Real Estate.
MWR, a local company of Lincoln, is proud to announce they are able to offer their own post-frame building packages in metal to anyone desiring a building, whether you're a contractor or a DIYer. They can install your building as always, and they offer multiple different rib profiles and loads of color options, including the wood grain metal at great competitive prices. You can inquire at mwrbuildingandfence.com or just draw your desired building and submit it in their contact us page and they'll get back to you. Call MWR today at 402-540-8966.
Now back to The Drive with Aaron Davis and Nick Sainert on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back in. It is The Drive, 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. Nick and Rudy with you one final time as we get ready to close things out. As I am down here in Arlington, Texas, once again, want to say a major thank you to Rudy for holding down the fort and bearing with me as we had some audio stuff. Hopefully it got better throughout the show and it's been stable. Hopefully the video is good as well. AD will be back on Monday. And so AD, be thinking and praying for him if that's up your alley, as he will drive back from Sioux Falls today to Lincoln. And I will join the show from Arlington on Monday. AD will be back in the studio, though, to start next week. It is a busy weekend in Husker athletics. Obviously, we've talked ad nauseum about Nebraska baseball. With Nebraska softball, we'll get rolling today as well. They are out in Cathedral City, California, as they will play number 13 South Carolina and Hawaii later today. Those games are going to start at noon and 2:30 respectively. I joked around how the Flow College conversation is, obviously you have to buy a subscription and stuff to watch the Nebraska baseball games. Well, a little 2-for-1. If you want to watch any of the Nebraska softball games, those are also broadcasted on Flow College. And so formerly Flow Sports. And so maybe one subscription can get you everything, and you can watch both Husker softball and Husker baseball this weekend. Should be a very, very exciting weekend of sports on the diamond. I'm excited to get over to Globe Life Field here in a couple of minutes, as at 11 a.m., here's the games that are going to be played outside of Nebraska, Louisville, Nebraska, Kansas State, and the Huskers versus Florida State on Sunday. Today, 11 a.m., right off the bat, Michigan, who is coming off of a series win on the road at Arizona last weekend. They are playing Florida State at 11 a.m. this morning. Then later on tonight, Auburn and Kansas State will follow Nebraska and Louisville. Tomorrow, Michigan and Louisville have the 11 a.m. game, Florida State and Auburn at 3 p.m., then Nebraska, Kansas State at 7 p.m., and then basically it's all the round robin. Nebraska plays, like we talked about, every team here except for Michigan and for Auburn. The Huskers will go to Auburn, Alabama next weekend, though, for a 3-game set. And so that is surely going to be a competitive series down in the southeast part of the country. Rudy, thank you, my friend. I appreciate you for everything that you did. I will go ahead and kind of close us out with this. There was a kind of a feel-good story that's been going around Lincoln this morning, obviously with a lot of the storms and the snow yesterday, a lot of really dicey road conditions. I saw that there were, I believe, 95 accidents reported, and it's the most since 2020 in a single day in the city of Lincoln, where they had 95 accidents that first responders had to respond to over the course of the day on Thursday. But how about this one from the Lincoln Police Department? Says this comes straight from their social media pages. Early this morning, Sergeant Mario Robinson was on patrol along O Street when he spotted a vehicle traveling the wrong way into oncoming traffic. Sergeant Robinson placed himself in harm's way using his cruiser and quick thinking to block the impaired driver's path and prevented other innocent motorists from injury. The driver was eventually taken into custody and arrested for DUI for having a BAC level of more than 0.15. And so AD usually does the AD attitude adjustments, but major shout out to Sergeant Mario Robinson of the Lincoln Police Department for putting his life on the line last night and taking into custody somebody that was driving under the influence, especially on those road conditions. All right, we're out of here. Rudy, thank you so much for all your help, my friend. I will talk to you in the very near future. Make sure you stay tuned. One-on-one is coming up next from 11 to noon. Stay tuned to all of our social media pages, as we'll have plenty of updates coming your way from Arlington, Texas. Nebraska baseball, 3 p.m. today. I'm making my way over to Globe Life Field to watch Michigan, Florida State here in just a moment. This has been The Drive. We'll talk to you on Monday here on 93.7 The Ticket.